All right, we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back for another episode, if not now when. I am so excited for today's special guest or marketing guru. We have a TEDx speaker in the house today. We have Simon Severino in the house. If you don't know him, oh my goodness, he is the author of Strategy Sprint and Habits of Success. He also is the CEO of a global consultancy, Strategy Sprints. He is the creator and Strategy Sprint Method, feature and contributor for Forbes and Entrepreneur Magazine. He's also a member of Silicon Valley Blockchain Society and number one speaker on agile strategy and sales. With that, everybody, I am super excited. Thank you very much, Simon, for joining us and welcome to the show.
It's cool to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course, Simon. So tell us, wow, how do you start your journey?
It's funny, I've been doing for 17 years only one thing, but in different forms. So I've only been helping entrepreneurs with go-to-market activities. So how
Mm,
to enter a market, how to defend a market, how to come up with a new product in an existing market, how, if you have a product, enter a new market. And so only this one thing, but in different forms. So I was an employee at the beginning, of course. How do you learn it? You join a global team, and I was junior consultant, senior consultant, junior project
mm,
manager, senior project manager, principal, etc. And I had the luck to have a very good boss
mm,
who who was very transparent, who would take me with him from New York to Beijing, and I was sitting in the plane with him and seeing how he does sales, how he does the delivery of the work, and that was quite impressive. He was teaching in MBAs, and I was part of these MBAs, first helping, and then also holding the lectures, and then running whole programs. And this is how I learned it. And recently, 5 years ago, I started doing my own thing and started Strategy Sprints.
wow, what a journey. And first of all, Simon, I love you said, along the past a decade or so, you are obsessing one thing and one thing only. I'm curious why the one thing attracted to you? What about that just bring you back over and over again?
Magic starts when you let go of the many opportunities and pick one.
Mm,
This is when the universe starts aligning around you and sends you a ton of material. But before that, nobody really knows what to send you. So this line is not from me; it's from Goethe. Wolfgang Goethe. He says there is magic in every beginning,
mm,
and it's true. If you remember, the one moment you committed to something. I will run my first marathon. I will marry you.
mm-hmm.
I love you. And you just commit to one thing, and then magic starts to happen. You don't know what's going on. Oh my God, where does this come from? Because energy coagulates around that. And
Mm,
before that, just nobody knows what you stand for. But
mm-hmm.
the moment you say, I stand for this, something changes. And now you have a directional energy. So everything
Mm-hmm.
that is not related to this will go away. Everything that is related to this, people will send to you.
Hmm.
This is what happened to me. So I was one of 100,000 management consultants.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do everything. You can do culture, you can do HR, you can do strategy, you can do innovation. And all of them are interesting. But at some point, I say, okay, what do I stand for? And I said, let me just pick one. They're all cool, but let me pick one. And I
Mm-hmm.
picked strategy and said, I'm for strategy. Which kind of strategy? Sales strategy, all right? Market strategy. Okay. So Simon is the market strategy guy. After a couple months, people started sending me the market strategy projects. Hey, can
Mm,
you do market strategy? No, I can't, but we have a market strategy guy. And I said, oh, this thing is working. I'm the market strategy guy. Let me write an article about market strategy. And so one thing led to the other. 17 years later, I'm here running a global team. But it just started by picking one thing.
Mm. It sounds so simple, but not simple. I'm curious, why do you think it's hard for people to just pick that one thing?
Because you need to let go. And sometimes we are in greed mode, right? Wow,
Mm.
let me grab everything, let me grab everything, let me grab everything. And it's really the opposite. Is hey, this is what I stand for, and the rest
Mm.
is for the others.
Mm. I love that simplicity. Sometimes it doesn't have to be that complex. I love it. And Simon, sounds like you picked your lane like 15 years ago. And do you always know you want to be entrepreneur? When does that occur to you that that might be a path you're going to go on with that one thing that you choose?
If you are one of these 2% people on the planet, then you have no other chance of being an entrepreneur. But did I know it early? No. I thought I am employable, and I realized later I am utterly unemployable, and I don't want for 1 second to be employed. This is the 2% of the population. So how did I realize it? Something was telling me, hey, do your own thing, do your own thing.
Hmm.
You are not built for meetings. You are built for building stuff. Ship your stuff.
Mm.
And again, my boss was instrumental because he said, Simon, you have something to say. And if somebody has something to say it.
Hmm.
That was a very important intervention that
Hmm.
uh, had ripple effects over months and years in me. Oh, I have something to say. Well, maybe I should say it.
Hmm.
So if you have something to say, please say it.
Hmm.
And if you feel that you are here to build things, there is something inside of you that wants out, well, you might be an entrepreneur.
Mm. Let's talk about that 2%. When did you know? Like, how is the definition of it? Is 2% of people on the planet meant to be entrepreneur? What do you mean by that statistics?
Yeah, there are statistics. And so there's 2% of the world that are just forces of nature. They create stuff out of nothing and they want to build stuff. So they look at the world and say, there's a problem. Let's solve it. And they don't want to discuss things. They don't want to research things. They want to build things. These
Hmm.
are the entrepreneurs. And they have problem in every other context and every other area. They only thrive if they can build stuff. So they usually do it.
And was it scary for you to realize you are that one of the 2%? And was it easy for you to transition from the moment that part of the, whether it's consulting business or any other business you were part of, transition into the world and share your own voice? Was it an easy journey?
Absolutely scary and very lonely. And nobody can tell you this will go right. Nobody. There is nothing.
Mm,
There is no number that you can crunch. And I'm a number cruncher, so I put up a spreadsheet of
mhm,
worst case, best case, how much cash do I need on the side? 6 months expenses.
mhm,
Okay. And you can do all of that, but it doesn't matter. Nobody can tell you, yes, this will work.
mhm.
And there are no numbers about the future. And so it is highly risky, and you should only do it if it's your DNA, if you're built to do that, because it's highly risky. It's very lonely at the beginning, and I was very fearful, but it felt right. So if the integrity signal says, "Hey, this is
Mhm,
the right thing to do," I
mhm.
move towards it. I don't need comfort. I need integrity.
I love that. It's an integrity to yourself because you feel it in your heart. Therefore, you almost have no choice but follow it, even though it's a tough journey.
If it's the right thing, you will find resources You will put in the hours. You will wake up
Mm,
before other people wake up and start doing stuff,
mm,
and you will build it until it's finished. If
mm,
it's not, if it doesn't feel like the right thing, then you will have excuses and delays,
mm,
procrastination, and all that low energy stuff.
mm, mm. So you mentioned it was scary in the first place, right? Or at the beginning, it is lonely, or it could be challenging at time. How do you overcome those moments? How do you? Is there a day or is there a moment you can think back, right? The past 5 years, is there a day that you feel like, oh, when I don't know if I want to, if I don't know if I have the courage, the energy today to carry forward. I don't know if I have what it takes. Do you ever doubt yourself in a moment, and how do you overcome that moment, that day?
So this happens regularly, and there are more setbacks than there is progress when you build new things that weren't there. So I have this
Mm,
every week. How do I manage it? Two things. The first one is asking myself, is this the right thing to do? That's the
mm,
integrity part. If this
mm,
is the right thing to do, just move forward. Just show up every day. There
mm,
is no other no other option. And then the second thing is, okay, how do you deal with emotions, both too
mm,
negative and too positive? How do
mhm,
you deal with emotions? Just, yeah, be aware that you have emotions right now,
mhm,
but focus on the next thing at hand. Right now, there is
mhm,
somebody that you are serving that needs a solution. Solve that thing.
mhm,
And while you are immersed in solving that thing, you will forget about the emotion. Emotions come and go, they change, they transform. They're like
mm,
in the sky, there are clouds. Yeah, they're passing. In 10 minutes, there will be different clouds.
mm,
But the people you serve, they're always there. So ask them, what do you need now? And serve.
mm.
And you will forget the rest. And that's what you want to be focused anyways when you are a team, the people you serve and how
Mm.
you help them.
You're so focused, Simon. I love that you always have a simple answer, simple way of looking at world, looking at problems, and with such a laser focus. I love that. Where does that come from? Do you always this way, Simon?
20 years of building stuff and seeing how complicated we human beings
Mm.
create
Mhm.
things, but it's there is no reason to overcomplicate things.
Mm.
What are you here to do? What can you do right now?
Mhm.
Let's do it.
I love it. So now tell us a little bit more about Strategy Sprint to our audience who might or may not very familiar with your work, Simon.
One of the problem was that in our community, people were having very volatile sales. Like in 1 month, they would have a big sale, and then they would do stuff and do stuff and do stuff. And then for the next months, they had no time, of course, to think about where to get new projects. And so that project would end, and then
Mm.
they would say, oops, now I'm afraid. Now I can't sleep. The
Mm.
books aren't full. And so they had this volatile sales cycle.
Mhm.
And to help with that, we created a 3 months program called the Strategy Sprint that really moves them through three things. The first one is positioning, the second is sales, and then the third one is marketing. So positioning is really, okay, who are you here to serve? What's your superpower? What what do you help me solve or get rid of or achieve? And where can you bring me? And so in the first part of that, we work on their positioning. And if you have a good positioning, you move them emotionally. And then you also move them to act, which is jump on your calendar, buy
Mm.
your thing. And then and then you can also ask for higher prices and pick the people that you choose to work with,
Mm.
and not pick the people that you don't choose to work with.
Mm.
That's positioning. And if we do that right in the first month, you now have a clear picture what you stand for, who are you here to serve, and why it's okay for you to charge a good premium.
Mm.
And then we work on your sales script. How do you prepare before the sales call? How do you deliver the sales conversation? And how do you make a project out of that in the last 5 minutes of that conversation. They record their sales conversation, they send us the recordings, and our sprint coaches give them feedback until their
Mm,
conversion rate is high.
mm,
And so this is where we start working on their sales process, form, fit, and function of the sales process. How do all the stages work? The awareness, engagement, ready to buy, closing, upselling, retaining, referral stages. Every week has one focus, and we work on solving one bottleneck. For example, how do you get more attention? How do you turn that attention into engagement? How do you turn that engagement into a deal? These are the single stages, and every
mm.
week we improve one conversion rate from one of these stages to the other. That's the strategy sprints method. And people can see around 160 cases right now on strategysprints.com where
Wow.
our clients share their results and how it feels to have a sprint coach.
Wow, that's so powerful. So who is the right audience for you or supporting you?
B2B businesses, professional services, consultancies, agencies, and software builders. This is
Mm,
who we work with. It must be B2B because
mm,
we only work with high ticket offers. So
mm,
uh, over $2,000
mm,
offers.
mm,
Everything below would be B2C. That's not what we do. We
mm,
work with people who just need a few clients per year and want to charge
mm.
high tickets.
That's helpful. That's amazing. And Simon, today working with hundreds, if not thousands, business owner entrepreneurs on their journey. What is number one things that you felt hold them back? If it seems consistent or common thread among all the entrepreneurs you're working with.
Most people do too much.
What?
They do too much. And so, for example, too much marketing. They spend too much on marketing. They spend too much time on marketing. They spend too much money on marketing.
Mm,
There's really just a couple things that you have to do. And if you do them, you can do this with 4 hours per day. One thing is product and one thing is sales. These are the two things that you need to do. So let's say you're starting a company right now
mhm,
and you start with your services. There's only two things that you need to do: solve a problem for the people you care about. And the second part is tell others about that problem that you're solving. That's marketing if you want, right? Or let's call it sales, because in the first, now in this stage, it's really about, okay, improve the product. And now
mhm,
many people say, yeah, but I'm a service, I'm a professional service, I'm a consultant, I don't have a product. You have a product. You
mhm,
just don't handle it as a product. You handle it like a service. But every service can be productized, and this is what we do with our clients. It gets, like a package. For example, I'm a service provider, but it's like a product. What you can buy from me is 90 days consulting. What you get is we double your revenue. It's 90 days and it's a fixed price. That's it. It's
mhm,
like a product. You know what you get. 90 days, we double your revenue. So that's how you productize a service. If you don't do that, again, nobody knows what you stand for and where you can bring them. And most people have a fuzzy offer. So make it tangible, make it easy for people to understand. Oh, this
mhm,
guy, he doubles your revenue 90 days. Cool. Can you
mm.
tell it to your friend what I'm doing?
Yeah, it's
Probably, right?
straightforward. Yeah.
Yes. And now I'm making it easy for you to
Mm,
to be my marketer. So that's
mm,
it. You need to work on your product and on your sales until you hit 35K MRR or 35K revenue per month.
mm.
Do nothing than that. Don't go on Clubhouse, don't go on LinkedIn, go nowhere. Don't run podcasts. Too many people run podcasts. I love it. I run podcasts. Don't do it before 35K per month. You're wasting your time.
Mm,
So unless it's your hobby, then do it. Yeah. But
mm,
if you run a business, you have to be very aware and very
mhm,
focused. Otherwise, yeah, you
mm,
dilute yourself and you lose time and energy.
mm,
So when you then have hit your 35K per month, Now it's time to get out of the weeds. Now we have to fire you from the operations. If
Mm,
you're a consultant, nobody can book you as a consultant anymore. Now you
mm,
start teaching your consultants and they deliver. And now you work on form, fit, and function of the sales system, form, fit, and function of the marketing system, form, fit, and function of the operations system.
mhm, mhm,
Now you are the CEO, the business
mm,
owner, not the business
mm,
operator. This is how you get from 35 to 200K per month. That's the next stage.
mm, mm,
So every stage has different things
mhm.
that are more important, and we have to focus on these things in each stage.
Is it only take 3 months? Because sounds like wow, that's incredible, but also very short time too.
Yeah, because we do only one thing since 17 years,
Mm,
we are faster at identifying. I am telling you the checklist of the things to do. I
mm,
have it in my mind. I have it in the Sprint University. We have 274 swipe copies and templates ready for you
wow.
to take and run. That's why it takes just 3 months. It took me almost 15 years to
Mm,
get there, but
mm.
our clients, they get the blueprints. They can run faster.
Wow, that's incredible. And I love that what you said about number one thing is that founder oftentimes do wrong is they do too much. I think because today we are in such a hustle culture, right? You think about, oh, you are a business owner, you are startup owner. Oftentimes he or she will, get a super like stereotype is, they're gonna get a super early, gonna work like 1,000 hours that day, and then in that way. And I'm so relieved that you said, actually, you don't need to do the long hour. All you need to do is to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Incredible. And I'm curious, what do you think is number one reason entrepreneur missing the mark? Because today you probably have aware of this, right? Not every entrepreneur are a success entrepreneur, right? Success rate is less than 10%. If you think about how many startup, how many business start every year, every month, every week, every day. Besides, not really focusing on the right thing, is there like, do you think any characteristic, like in terms of personality, in terms of the way how we work on things, is there any trait that you see that's common with people who did not really quote unquote made it?
I think they get distracted. I don't think in personalities, every personality has their superpower
Mm,
and their shadow. So it's just about awareness, be aware of your shadow and build systems that help you. Don't be too much in the shadow part and be more in the superpower part of your
mm,
personality.
mm,
But what I see is behaviors. So there are three strategies and three habits that keep me focused.
mm,
And these are also the things that we share with our clients. So the three habits are daily habit, weekly habit, monthly habit. Every day, write down how do you allocate your time. I can share my template with you. It's an iPad template that I use.
mm.
I write
Every day?
down
Every day?
every day, sure. And so um, it's a I can show it right now, but it's basically you write down the flow of your day, right? What am I doing? 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, etc.
Mm,
And then in the evening, before I close down here the work, it asks me two reflective questions. One is, of all the things that I did today, which one will I delegate tomorrow? And the second one is, if I would live more freely and more intentionally, what would I do tomorrow? So I, with informed by these two reflective questions, I now create the flow of tomorrow, and then I close my computer and go cooking or
mhm,
partying or having a life or whatever. So, and then when I come back here tomorrow, the flow is ready and I'm doing the right things. And I take
mhm,
care that in the morning there is uninterrupted deep work and interviews and meetings, etc., in the afternoon. So there is a flow of the day. And I've created the flow according to what I need. This is important, and that's the daily habit. Then there is the weekly habit. Get your numbers reported every 7 days, your marketing numbers, sales numbers, and operations numbers. Most teams don't have a clue what they're doing. They don't have a clue what their numbers are. And so basically you are flying blind. And if you are flying blind, well, you won't hit your targets. So the weekly habit, get the right numbers, simple numbers, but in real time. And then there is the monthly habit, quick strategic analysis. Are we running in the right direction at the right pace? What's competition doing? Do we need to change anything? Where do we cut costs this month? Where do we invest more this month? And you take it from the side where you cut to the
Mm-hmm.
side. If you cut 15% from here, that's you reinvest it there where it's
Mm-hmm.
really needed, where you are winning right now. These are
Mm-hmm.
the 3 habits. And you can download all these templates on our website, strategysprints.com. Then there are 3 strategies. This is what we ask ourselves when other people say, "Hey, do you like to, I don't know, um, come come with us and have a LinkedIn live, or do you want to speak on my summit?" And then, okay, sounds interesting, but I run it through the 3 strategies. Will it increase by 25% the frequency of my sales? Yes or no? Will it increase by 25% the price that I can charge? Yes or no? Will it increase by 25% my closing rate? Yes
Mm.
or no? If it hits one of those, I will do it. If it doesn't hit one of those, thank you, not this time.
Wow. I am so blown away. I love how intentional you are with the time, with the way how you're looking at, opportunities, and you can evaluate exactly what is in alignment in that time, which is incredibly brilliant.
You have to protect your time as an entrepreneur. You just have 24 hours per day. You want to build something that's bigger
Hmm.
than you.
Mm.
You got to focus.
And Simon, just so I clear, you said the daily habit is you do it in the morning, in the evening you reflect, and then secondly, what's the point of second morning you do it again if you already have a workflow the day before, the night before?
Yeah, for example, in today's list, in the morning I was running, then I was having breakfast, playing with my kids, then
Yeah.
I was doing some deep work, then I was live on YouTube, then I had 4 interviews, and then it's dinner. So before dinner, I close this down. I have the 2 reflective questions, and then I write down what will I do tomorrow.
Hmm.
Tomorrow is a completely new day.
Yeah.
And as an entrepreneur, you can do whatever you want. I can play tennis the whole day if I want, or I can just don't bring my kids to kindergarten and go skiing with them if I want.
Mm.
So tonight, basically, shortly before I close this day, I will design the flow of tomorrow. What do I want to do tomorrow, 6 o'clock in the morning?
Hmm.
Probably I will go run again and listen to a podcast while I do that. Then breakfast. Do I want to have breakfast? When? So basically, the flow of tomorrow. And over time, you probably will find out for yourself that there are some patterns that work better than others, and you
Mm.
will stick to them. But there is also freedom, right? Depending on the weather.
Mm.
If the weather is fine, I will go biking 3 hours.
Mm. Mm. Wow. I love that you have such a clarity in everything you do, Simon. And I'm so inspired by that. And in the earlier, some you talk about superpower, you talk about the shadow side of you. Like, what is your superpower? And what is one part that maybe is a shadow? And then therefore you build a system around that. I'm curious.
I find connection to my purpose when I am at rock bottom, when I have a very, 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 very bad month and the weather is awful and I feel like, oh my God, nothing works here. This is when I feel it most. And it is my purpose. So, what am I here to do? In my case, I am here to open doors and turn on lights. That's what I'm here to do. So, in the core, I'm an educator. Right? So in the worst month of the year, I feel this and I know, all right, this is what I'm here to do. So if tomorrow, if I would pivot everything, my company, my products, my offer, my website, if I lose everything, what am I going to do tomorrow? Well, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. turn on lights, open doors. So I would again start a company. I would again start a YouTube channel. Everything. I would do it again. I would again start masterminds because that's what I'm here to do. So bring
Mm,
it on. You can strip everything away from me, but the
mm,
purpose is always here, right?
mm,
It's an energy that it's flowing, and I'm just a vessel for this energy. So that's the one thing, and it's just we don't feel it in times where everything is perfect.
mhm.
So it's better to have a really bad month sometimes because then you feel it again, right? And you have clarity about it.
Oh, wow, that really just hit me. I love you said about almost it's almost better, almost perfect to have that imperfect childhood or imperfect boss or imperfect job. Those challenges actually make you feel more alive. Those moments make you realize you are connecting with that power, with that purpose.
Absolutely, and it's gonna come anyways. There will be a bad month, and I hope so because you will clarify what you are really here to do,
Mm,
and then everything else will align accordingly.
mm. So what is your that's a superpower side. What is the other side that you build a system around so you can really optimize your superpower?
Yeah, the next thing is I don't rely on goals. And if you
You
think,
don't?
um, absolutely no, I have goals, but I don't take them seriously. I change them all the time. The world changed them all the time. Uh, my goal last year was to be a Bitcoin billionaire. Well, guess what? The market changed all these goals and it's changing them all the time, all the time. So who cares about my plans? My plans, they change all the time. Last year, I wanted to, you know, 17x my crypto portfolio. This year, I'm happy if I double it. So they change all the time, all the time. And depending what's on the news, that will change again. And I had the plan to be on 200 stages delivering keynotes, and then the pandemic hit. So
Mm,
what's helpful in having goals? Uh, the only thing that's helpful is having a process for continuously adapting your goals. And but then that's not a goal setting, that's a system for
mm,
how you clarify and change and adapt goals. This is
mm,
what really is helpful. So if I have to pick goals or systems, I pick systems because that will help you. It's the process of how you come up with intentions, you create
mhm,
activities, you change activities, you stop activities, you
mhm,
double activities. But it's not,
mhm,
hey, I write it here and that's my goal and this is going to happen. I just have to go to
mhm.
um, a I don't know, a workshop with psychedelics and then I tell it to myself every day and then it will work. I don't think so.
Fair point. And Simon, now I want to circle the question back to you. You talk about purpose a lot. You talk about, you are very intentional in the alignments with a higher energy, and so you can serve, you can open the door, you can turn on the lights. So I'm curious, hypothetically, XYZ years later, we all in this magical place called heaven. What do you want the capstone to say about you? Your capstone.
Customers?
Customers.
No, what do I want my customers say about me
Oh,
or who?
sorry. So when we die, right, you have this on the stone. What do you call it? The graveyard? We have
Hmm.
the word escaping my mind. But what do you
Yeah, the
want?
tombstone. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess my tombstone will say, "Hello, sprinters."
They say hello, sprinters.
Yeah, that's what I say every day when I go live on YouTube. I say, "Hello, sprinters." I guess that will be on my tombstones. Hello, welcome to the workshop.
Welcome to the workshop. But like beyond that, what do you want to say? Like short and simple. What do you want people to remember you by?
Well, I hope that somebody will say, yes, he helped me do something. He helped me do this, or
Mm,
he helped me do that.
mm. I love that. You truly want to be a servant for the world, for the people, for the customers. That's incredible. And Simon, I'm curious, today you has been a long journey, right? 15 years later, you are focusing on one thing and one thing only, and you've done it so successfully and adequately, in a global scale. I'm curious, um, what is your definition for success? And do you think you are successful by that?
My definition is per role, right? My main role is being a husband, then it's being a father, and then it's being a CEO. And every of these roles has a definition of success. So I always ask myself, what would the best husband do right now? And I ask my wife, and she has a definition for that. I asked them, why did you marry me 12 years ago? And she said, because it felt like adventure and home. So
Oh,
that's my goal. I know that I was a good husband today in the evening if I can answer this question: was I today a good adventure and home for my wife?
I love
So that's my definition in that role of every day, right? And then tomorrow, how will I know that I'm a good father? And that is, am I playful? Am I approachable? Am I reliable? Simple, right? And then in my third role as a CEO,
Mm,
um, what would the best CEO do? What's my definition of success there? And I would say we have a resilient, agile system that is not dependent on single person or on the weather or on the markets. It works all the time, and
mm,
it is capable to adapt.
mm. So are you a success based on the criteria you just laid earlier?
Today, yes. Tomorrow, to be defined.
Very agile. I love that. And Simon, today you are so I just love how incredible you have such a container or system or strategic mind looking at each and every area of your life, whether it's being a husband, being a father or CEO or all the different hats you wear. Um, I just feel like you have such a clarity on yourself and the life you live, which is just so refreshing. I'm curious, Simon, if you would go back to earlier version of you, younger version of Simon, what would you wishing he knows early on?
My God. Uh, yeah, so many things because I was doing everything wrong, everything. But I wouldn't listen to anybody. So I guess I would do all that stuff again because I would never listen to anybody. I still don't listen to anybody. And so the young Simon wouldn't listen to me anyways.
But if you could just wish one thing.
If it's one thing, I would say, hey, you have so much more time.
Mm,
Relax, buddy. Relax. You have so much more time. It doesn't need to happen now.
mm. Music to my ear. I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs are so in rush at the time, and people want things to be happen yesterday, and of course it didn't. And that I think that piece that recollective really come with the confidence knowing that you are exactly focused on the one thing that you're supposed to focusing on. And when you have that right alignment, there's no rush, there's no time.
And it's a series of sprints. We are the strategy sprints team, but life is
Mm,
not a marathon. It's a series of sprints, and you
mm,
need hundreds of sprints. A sprint is a week in our world. You need
mm,
hundreds of
mm,
sprints to build something bigger than you.
mm,
So be patient. This will take years.
mm. I love that. And Simon, what inspired you today? Or what made you happy today?
But my family, we wake up in the morning, we sing, we dance, and we are present. We need something. We say that we need it. My family really inspires me.
Oh, incredible. What is what is one thing that you wish people know about you, but oftentimes people don't?
That's the first time somebody asks me this question. Uh, So most people see the systems and say, oh, he has this clarity and he has this system. He's so disciplined. Most people think I'm disciplined.
Mm.
And it's the complete opposite. I'm a creative guy, 100 ideas in a minute. I forget what I was thinking yesterday. That's how I operate. Like I could start 100 new projects today, inspired by the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a creative person. I'm not a disciplined person.
Mm.
But whatever your type is, it's helpful to balance it out, right?
Mm.
So if let's simplify it. Let's say you are a great story person and creative person like I am. Well, then you need systems to balance that. Because otherwise
Mm.
you will start too many things and you will
Mm.
not be consistent.
Mm.
On the other side, if you're a total process person, a systems person, well, you are so boring. You better start uh, telling stories and listening to stories with big eyes like kids.
Mm.
Otherwise, it's so boring, it will never work. Nobody wants it. So everybody needs a mix,
Mm.
right? So find your mix.
Mm. I love that. I would never thought of you, Sam, because you're right. You always come off as so intentional, so thoughtful about how you spend the time, day, week, month, how you wear different hats, different criterias. And I would never thought you are that creative genius in that way, but that made total sense. Was it a hard lesson for you to learn that? Like, I imagine you were born creative. There's a pivotal moment, realize, wow, I need system here. Was that a challenging realization?
Super hard conversation. I had one of my coaches, like 20 years ago, I had a coach, and he said to me, Simon, but what is the one thing you want to be famous for? And I
Mm.
was like, well, I don't know. And he said, you're like Thomas Edison. You are inventing stuff here and everything is you're passionate about. But what's the one thing? What's the one thing? I said, oh my God, I don't know.
Mm.
But he made me aware of this. Oh, it's true. I don't have one thing.
Hmm.
It's and then the history of Edison, he was inventing all these things, but other people made a business out of it.
Yes.
And that what he wanted to point me to is say, hey Simon, yeah, you might be creative and stuff, but you gotta learn to make a business out of this. Then you
Mm.
gotta pick one.
Mm.
And that made me aware, and that was a tough realization. It's not that
Mm.
easy. If you're a creative person, you are starting things all the time.
Mm. Wow. I love that. That is interesting thing about, yeah, Thomas Edison, he is not a businessman. That's really true. I never thought of it that way. Amazing. Simon, so back to you. What is future for Simon and the strategy sprint? Like, what is
Tomorrow,
next?
I'm gonna wake up. I have the flow of the day. In the morning, I will do my exercises. Then I will play with my kids. Then I will have
Oh.
breakfast with my whole family. Then I will
Mm.
do 3 4 hours of deep work. This is where I write my next YouTube monologue, and I will go live on YouTube after I wrote it. And then I will interview people, and I will do that also live on YouTube. And then I will have lunch, and then I will have interviews and meetings and hiring interviews. And then I review my day and I go
Mm.
cooking for my family. That's my future.
Wow. I love that. Are you intentionally put you like deep work in the morning and the meeting and other events in the afternoon intentionally that way?
Yes, it's a completely different energy for me if I
Mm-hmm.
heads down work and heads up work.
Mm.
So, for example, a conversation like this
Mm-hmm.
is a high energy, but it's also very frantic. After this, I will not have written a chapter of a book. After
Mm.
this, I have a new idea that will start some new processes that overnight might trigger the next project because you give me new ideas. And I don't want that in the morning. In the morning, I want heads down, write 600 words, then you go live on YouTube. That's what I want
Mm,
in the morning, right? This is how I wrote this book. 200
mm,
pages. You don't write 200 pages in meetings. You write them only if you put your head down to the desk and click, click, click,
mm.
because I write on my
Incredible.
computer. Yeah. So in the morning, I need to finish things and
Mm,
ship things. In the afternoon, I'm
mm,
here for inspiration,
mm,
exchanges, conversations,
mm,
inspiration.
mm,
Beautiful, but very different energy. The one is a very calm energy,
mm.
and I ship something. The other one is a more of a creative, frantic energy. I ship nothing.
Incredible realization. With that, Simon, my last question for you is, a lot of entrepreneurs listen to this show, and he or she might be in the early stage. Maybe they just started their journey. Maybe they're in the journey a little bit, but maybe still in the trenches, not seeing the light just yet. What would you say to him or her?
Whatever you're doing, make a list of all the things that you're doing, cut that list in half, and then when you have that list, cut it in half again. Now you start.
Wow. Okay, I did not expect that. Can you explain why?
It's most people are doing too many things.
Mm,
And whatever you're doing, find find the 20% that really move the needle forward,
mm,
and focus on them. You will have more impact in what you do,
mm.
and that will give you then energy and feedback and motivation to show up the next day and to deliver again.
Mm, I love that. All about 2080 rules. With that, everybody, oh my God. Like, first of all, Simon, thank you so much for being here today. Share your journey, share your insight. Oh my goodness, I am so inspired by you, by who you are, by the clarity you bring on the conversation. Thank you so much. Also, thank you everybody for tuning in today. I really hope you enjoy as much as I do. And I cannot wait to see you guys next time. Bye, guys.